Ladies and gentlemen, the internet is on fire. And no, it's not because of a new diss track or some petty shade on Instagram. It's because Remy Ma, yes, the Remy Ma, has just been arrested after her own son confessed to murder. And guess what? He said she was involved. Now, before y'all drop your phones, it gets worse. There's a jailhouse audio leak making the rounds right now where Remy's voice is loud, clear, and downright incriminating. The kind of leak that makes you clutch your pearls and ask, did she really just say that on a recorded line? This ain't no mixtape drama. This is murder, cover-up, and courtroom chaos, and Remy Ma might be trading in her mic for a jumpsuit. The streets are whispering, the fans are screaming, and the timeline? Exploding. So buckle up. Because what you're about to hear might just change everything you thought you knew about the Queen of Loyalty. Let's rewind the clock. Because what started as a routine homicide investigation just turned into a full-blown hip-hop horror story. And sitting dead center in the chaos? Remy Ma, legendary rapper, mother, and now alleged accomplice in a murder investigation. Yes, you heard that right. And no, this isn't some wild fan theory or Reddit rabbit hole. This is coming straight from the courtroom transcripts, leaked documents, and oh yes, a viral jailhouse audio that's been shared over 12 million times in 48 hours. So how did we get here? Well, meet Jason, Remy Ma's 23-year-old son from her previous relationship. He's always been low-key, the type to stay out of the spotlight. No flashy chains, no messy tweets, just someone who kept it quiet. Until now. Because Jason was just arrested on second-degree murder charges after a man named Daryl Tino Montgomery was found shot execution-style in the back of a parking garage in Newark, New Jersey. Surveillance footage was grainy, untraceable, and for weeks, the case went cold. But then, Jason cracked. According to multiple insiders close to the investigation, the moment police brought up his cell location data, the man folded like a lawn chair. Not only did he admit to being at the scene, but he said something no one expected. I wasn't alone. My mother helped me clean it up. Excuse me, Remy Ma? The Grammy-nominated rapper who spent 6 years in Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for shooting her best friend over $3,000? You mean to tell me SHE was involved in another violent crime, but this time with her own son? The internet didn't know what to do with that information. One fan tweeted, "This is not the loyalty we meant when we said Remy was ride or die." Another wrote, "She really said mama's gonna make it go away and meant it, skull." But while social media laughed, the NYPD didn't. In less than 24 hours, Remy Ma was taken into custody. No press conference. No warning. No dramatic escape attempt. Just cold, hard handcuffs outside a Harlem restaurant. Paparazzi swarmed. Someone even caught her mouthing the words, "Tell Papoose to get the lawyer." And oh, don't worry, Papoose is coming up later because you know he didn't just sit there and stay quiet. But let's focus on what happened next because this is where things go from maybe she helped her son to lock her up, energy real quick. You see, Remy Ma didn't just get arrested. She got recorded. Within hours of her booking, a jail phone call leaked. A call she made to a close friend, possibly a cousin, where she said the words, "I told him to stay quiet, but now he wants to drag me down too." Boom. That's all prosecutors needed. Because now this wasn't just hearsay. This was a recorded confession, a cover-up, and a direct quote implying she knew what had happened and tried to protect her son by hiding the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most twisted family drama since, well, anything on Zeus Network. And the wildest part? This isn't Remy's first rodeo. Let's not forget, Remy Ma isn't just known for her music or her sharp tongue. She's known for doing time. Back in 2007, she was convicted for shooting her own friend after an argument over missing money. She spent 6 years behind bars, released in 2014, and claimed to be a changed woman. But clearly, the past doesn't just disappear. Especially when you leave gunpowder trails and blood on the pavement. According to one anonymous investigator, we believe Ms. Smith to Remy had prior knowledge of her son's intent and was involved in the post-crime disposal of evidence. Another said, We've never seen a hip-hop figure cover for a murder in this way. This is next level. And y'all, it gets darker. Because once Remy was processed, the charges weren't just obstruction or accessory. Nope. They hit her with conspiracy to commit murder, meaning they believe she was involved before it even happened. And if you think that's all, buckle up, because coming up in part 2, we break down the full leaked transcript of that jail call telephone receiver, the DA's wild new accusations that Remy orchestrated the cleanup, and how Papoose is reportedly in panic mode behind the scenes, already cutting deals with legal teams and deleting old posts. Y'all are not ready. The moment that jail audio leaked, it was over. Not just for Remy Ma's reputation, but for whatever tiny chance she had of walking away from this without a trial. In the clip, barely 2 minutes long, you can hear her pacing. You can hear her voice trembling. But what got people talking wasn't the tone. It was the words. I told him to stay quiet. I told him not to trust nobody. I didn't think he'd actually confess. That was the line. That one sentence, ripped straight from a recorded jail call, broadcast on every gossip blog and news headline within the hour. The internet didn't wait for lawyers. They didn't wait for statements. They decided she was guilty. Within 6 hours of the leak, Free Remy was trending. But so was Remy Dunn. Fan pages split. Some said she was being set up. Others, not so forgiving. One viral tweet read, "She did 6 years just to turn into an accomplice for her son? That's not loyalty. That's stupidity." Prosecutors wasted no time. They filed to use the audio as direct evidence of conspiracy. And behind closed doors, they started preparing for the one thing they knew the world wanted, a televised trial. This wasn't just a homicide now. It was becoming an all-out media circus. And guess who else suddenly disappeared from public view? Papoose. Mr. Black Love. Mr. Forever My Queen. The man who held Remy down during her first sentence, suddenly offline. No posts. No statements. No interviews. Just gone. Until TMZ, as always, found the crack. A source close to Papoose's team leaked a private message, a screenshot sent to one of his friends, that said, "I warned her. I told her not to get involved. I ain't doing this again." That one text was enough to start a new firestorm. Was Papoose about to walk away? Was the most loyal husband in hip-hop finally done? But back to the case. Court documents began leaking within 48 hours of Remy's arrest. What they showed wasn't just damning, it was chilling. One document claimed that Remy's fingerprints were found on a garbage bag recovered from a dumpster near the crime scene. The bag contained gloves, a hoodie, and a burner phone. The prosecution believes she helped dispose of them. Another affidavit claimed surveillance footage, previously believed to be too blurry, had now been enhanced. And guess what? A woman matching Remy's build and hairstyle was allegedly seen pacing behind a parked SUV just 10 minutes after the shooting. It wasn't proof, but it was enough to scare the defense. Meanwhile, Jason, the son who started it all, had reportedly gone silent. After confessing, he lawyered up and stopped talking. But prosecutors hinted in a press briefing that they may push him to testify against his own mother. And here's where it gets messy, eh? Inside sources from the holding facility leaked more details, including the fact that Remy Ma had refused all visits except one. Her lawyer. Even Papoose wasn't allowed to see her. People began to wonder, was she cutting everyone off? Or was she protecting them? Social media exploded with speculation. Threads on Reddit claimed she was taking the fall for someone else. One even suggested Jason didn't act alone, and Remy was covering up for a second son no one knows about. The theories were wild, but the noise kept growing. Meanwhile, the district attorney held a press conference. Standing in front of a sea of cameras, she delivered the line that would land on every blog and morning show across the country. Let me be very clear. No one is above the law. Not even rap royalty. We believe Ms. Smith knew about the crime, helped cover it up, and attempted to obstruct justice. The courtroom was packed for Remy's bail hearing. She appeared via video screen, dressed in a beige jumpsuit, expression blank. Her attorney argued for release, citing her high-profile status and history of returning to court. But the judge wasn't buying it. He denied bail, citing the severity of the crime and the risk of witness tampering. And just like that, Remy Ma was officially locked in. From rap battles to Rikers. From red carpets to criminal charges. The timeline of her fall was unfolding in real time, and every new leak only made it worse. Then came the moment that shifted everything again. A new voice recording surfaced, this time not from jail, but from a secret wiretap. According to anonymous sources, authorities had been watching Remy's phone for weeks prior to the arrest, suspecting her involvement in undisclosed criminal matters. The recording allegedly captured her on a phone call saying, "If it comes down to it, I'll say I was never there. But if he folds, that's on him. I already did my time. I'm not doing it again." The implications? Massive. That line alone suggested premeditation, an awareness that something could go wrong, and a plan to deny involvement. That tape wasn't supposed to be heard, but once it leaked, it went viral within minutes. Music blogs turned into courtroom analysts. Fans turned into FBI agents. Everyone was zooming into screenshots, comparing timestamps, digging up old interviews, trying to find any sign that Remy was capable of this. And honestly, some of those clips didn't age well. An old Vlad TV interview resurfaced where Remy said, "If my son ever caught a body, I'd be there before the cops even showed up. That's my child." It was meant as a joke back then. But now, that quote was playing on repeat like a prophecy. Meanwhile, the legal team scrambled. Remy's lawyers issued a statement denying all allegations. They claimed the jail audio was taken out of context, that the surveillance footage was inconclusive, that Remy had an alibi. But the court of public opinion wasn't interested in statements. They wanted blood. And in the background, quietly, whispers began to surface that the prosecutors were building something even bigger, a RICO case. Something that could tie Remy, her son, and possibly others into an organized operation involving drugs, weapons, and yes, murder. It sounded extreme, but this was Remy Ma, a woman with a past, a woman with enemies, a woman who, for all her reinvention, could never fully shake the image of the Bronx girl who shot her friend over a bag of cash. And now, she might be going away for life. As the public waited for her next court appearance, one thing became clear. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal. This was the fall of a hip-hop icon, dragged down by blood ties, bad decisions, and a son who couldn't keep the secret. And with new court dates looming, prosecutors hinting at more witnesses, and the internet watching every move, the storm was far from over. By the time Remy Ma returned to court for her arraignment, the public was already convinced of her guilt. Outside the courthouse, protesters held signs that read, "Mothers don't murder," and "Justice for Tino." Inside, reporters lined the hallway, snapping photos of every lawyer, every bodyguard, every tear that dared fall down Remy's face. But Remy wasn't crying anymore. She walked in like she had something to prove, like this wasn't the end, just the beginning of a war she planned to win. Her team entered a not guilty plea, of course. But behind the scenes, things were crumbling. Because guess who suddenly turned cooperative? Jason. Yup. Her own son. The same one who had confessed, the same one who dragged her name into the dirt, was now officially cooperating with the prosecution. Sources said he was given a deal, reduced sentence in exchange for full testimony. And he took it. One courtroom insider claimed he told the grand jury, quote, "My mom didn't pull the trigger, but she knew. She was the first person I called." Another leaked statement had him saying, "She told me what to throw away. She gave me gloves. She didn't ask questions. She just started cleaning." That was all the DA needed. They didn't just have one smoking gun. They had a whole arsenal now. The jail call, the wiretap, the surveillance footage, and the testimony of the one person Remy would have taken a bullet for, her own child. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world, not just because it was tragic, but because of how fast people flipped. Artists who once praised Remy went silent. Nobody wanted to be associated. Not after that audio, not after those court leaks. Even Fat Joe, her longtime friend, unfollowed her the next day. Fans noticed. And Papoose? He didn't show up in court. He didn't tweet.
He didn't comment.
He didn't even post a black square or a vague Bible verse. He simply disappeared. Some say he moved out of their shared home. Others claim he's preparing divorce paperwork. Nothing is confirmed, but one thing is certain. The black love era is over. And as Remy sat through each courtroom session, the cracks in her armor started to show. No more glam, no more shades, just a woman cornered by every bad decision she thought would never come back to haunt her. The prosecution revealed new information in court. Apparently, Remy Ma had made a series of cash withdrawals in the days following the murder, totaling $47,000. They alleged that some of that money went to silence witnesses. One witness, who later recanted their statement, was traced back to a wire transfer connected to a shell company owned by one of Remy's friends. Coincidence? Maybe. But the DA wasn't buying it. At this point, the narrative wasn't just about her being an accessory. The theory became darker. That Remy Ma had tried to orchestrate a cleanup, pay off potential snitches, and ghost anyone who could ruin her son's freedom. And the most disturbing part? She almost pulled it off. According to court files, if that jail audio hadn't leaked, prosecutors had little to work with. The fingerprints were inconclusive. The surveillance was blurry. The shell companies? Circumstantial. But that call, that voice, that moment she let her guard down? That's what destroyed her. And now, facing charges that include obstruction, conspiracy, and accessory to murder, Remy Ma was staring down the possibility of 25 to life. Back online, the reaction was savage. TikTok was filled with reenactments of the jail call. Twitter was flooded with old clips of Remy calling herself the realest in the game. Memes compared her to Mama D from Love and Hip Hop. Instagram comments were brutal. She went from rap queen to crime queen. She ain't Remy Ma no more. She Remy mugshot. Protect black mothers, unless they out here helping cover up murders. The tone shifted from shock to mockery. People didn't just want justice. They wanted her humiliated,
Dragged.
broken. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Jason was moved to a private facility. No more public appearances. No press. No updates. Just silence. Some believe he's in protective custody. Others think he's being coached for the final testimony that will bury his mother once and for all. Either way, the internet hasn't forgiven him. A leaked voicemail from a relative revealed a chilling quote. "You got your own mother locked up. Ain't no coming back from that." And honestly, they might be right. Because even if Remy somehow beats the case, even if her lawyers pull off a miracle, her public image is gone. Radio stations pulled her music. Sponsors dropped her. A planned documentary about her comeback was cancelled mid-edit. Her name has become poison. And still, some fans are asking why. Why would she get involved? Why would a woman who rebuilt her life, got her career back, had her husband and family, risk it all for a mistake her son made? And maybe the answer is the most tragic part of all. Because she's a mother. Because no matter how hard she tried to stay clean, that loyalty, that blind, desperate love, made her protect someone she should have let go. And now, she's paying the price. A final court date is set for next month. The prosecution says they will call over 12 witnesses, including Remy's former manager, her cousin, a forensic analyst, and possibly Papoose, if he agrees. There's talk of body cam footage, unreleased voice notes, and an alleged burner phone they recovered from a trash bin outside a studio. All of it, apparently, ties her to the crime. The judge has already declared this a high-risk case. The courtroom will be sealed. No live streaming. No media. But you already know the leaks are coming. Because when it comes to Remy Ma, silence doesn't last. Not in this story. And not in this downfall. Because this isn't just a murder case. This is the collapse of a legend. A mother. A rapper. A woman who survived prison, love triangles, public humiliation. Only to end up right back where she started. Behind bars. Not because she killed someone, but because she couldn't walk away when it mattered most. And as that jail audio echoes through every speaker, through every timeline, through every "did you hear what she said?" whisper, one thing is clear. This time, Remy Ma might not come back. So now the question becomes, was Remy Ma really just a mother trying to protect her son? Or was she something else entirely, a woman so caught up in loyalty, legacy, and lies that she forgot where the line was? Because let's be honest, this wasn't just about love. This was about control, about secrets, about doing dirt, and thinking no one would ever pull the receipts. But the receipts came. They came in audio form. They came in leaked documents. They came in her own son's voice, cracking on the stand, saying things no child should ever have to say about their mother.
And now,
We wait. We wait for that final verdict. We wait for that last piece of evidence. We wait to see if Remy Ma goes down in history as a survivor, or a symbol of how far people will go to protect a legacy that's already gone. But while the courtroom stays quiet, I want to know what you think. Did Remy Ma really deserve to be arrested? Was her son out of line? Or just scared and telling the truth? And is this the final chapter of Remy Ma's career? Or just another dark plot twist in her already messy story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you're still shook. Subscribe if you want the next leak before it hits the blogs. Because at Gossip Spill Vibe, we don't guess, we expose.